Carlin, what did we learn in class today? How do we end the year here?
Well, I got to talk to Bob. I got to shake his hand and thank him thoroughly, man. He's on the money, and managing anger is a trip I've been into a long time ago because I had a bad temper and all. And a lot of times that costs you a day in court or a weekend or something.
Did you get court-martialed?
I have a couple of those, yeah. But those are things for anger. Right. Anger. Yeah, well, if you're sitting in a chair and a guy punches you and you're sitting down, your first reaction is to get angry. But I got above that, and I can plan stuff out, and if you get a chance to do something mean, you do it later. Anyway, I thanked him. I really enjoyed him. Every word he said was great. As far as the duck people go, I don't watch a show like that. Well, I don't care about calling a duck down and shooting them. I'm getting off meat again. I felt back on it a little bit, but I don't care. I don't dig it that much, so I'm respecting the little animals. And that's my decision. I don't care if you go have a big steak. You know, everybody does what they want. That's why they call it America. And who else did I want to talk about here today? Oh, the music was out of hand. Gus blew me away, and all that rhythmic stuff. It was really, really great. And I made a note, on that bestiality trip, Joe. I never heard about that until I got in the service and talked with the guys from down south and stuff. And one guy told me about a cow that was stump broke. And I said, what do you mean stump broke? And he said, well, where there's a stump, he said, you stand up on the stump and you get behind old Elsie there and you tell her, whoa, giddy up.
Happy New Year, everybody!
Yeah, man.
Da, 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 da. And what else do you have for us?
Well, I didn't think that was offensive. It was a true thing. Anyway, you got your remedies here. The old, what do they got? Fukushima. Nobody talked about Fukushima, man, and I'm going to tell you right now. That's my #1 thing. It happened 3 years ago. It's cool. It's floating around. It ain't. Go look at some of those maps of where all that radioactivity is going, my friends. It's a very heavy scene. The UN ought to get all the concrete in the world and come and drop it on that thing and just concrete it over and give up on it, man. You cannot save it. They're whipping a dead horse with that thing. Also, who dreamed that? Oh, yeah, the anger thing. Give that to what I call, and I named him a long time ago, my other guy.
Oh, who is your other guy?
He floats along under a placid scene, but he's on duty when needed. My other guy. And I told George about him, and George dug him. He said, that's a nice safety valve for you. He always was a bright guy. Anyway, I'm praying for a lot of, I'm not praying, but I mean, I'm talking to the big electron, and he don't care. So that's a useless trip.
Hold on now, because it's the end of the year. We want all the boys and girls out there in Radio Land to understand that, because I know your brother dug this, you believe in the big electron. So tell us a little bit more about
well, that's just, the big electron is that thing that was all scrunched down to the size of a head of a pin, and then it decided to take a stretch. And that's the galaxies expanding and going out, 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 and takes a stretch. And the only communicator I know of who talks with the big electron is Alice in Wonderland. She's one of the characters in my book, Quien Blankensabe, and she works on my favorite paper, the Daily S-Word. But Allison once roomed with Jesus when he was writing a sitcom on Yucca Street in Hollywood. So Allison's kind of blown out, you know. And she does talk to the big electron, and she thanks him for things like the Beatles, and for rain, and for rhythm. What'll I thank you for? So all she ever says is prayers of thanks to the big electron. And he's a goofer. He says, you're the goofiest species around, man. He said, I knew you guys were in trouble when you first discovered fire. And he lets her know little gems, and then she writes things about her visit with you. So that's where the big electron's at. And George did dig him, because his main thing is, I don't give an S-word. The big electron, the universe, the full scene of which we are all tiny little speckerinos, he don't care. He takes a stretch for a few billion years. He says, then I condense myself. He says, I've done it dozens of times. He says, and it never tires me. I enjoy it.
Patrick Carlin, Happy New Year. Victoria Sullivan, Happy New Year. Joe Royola, Happy New Year. Owen Swenson, Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
One more thing.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
I'm going to be New Year's Eve up at the Ramble.
Well, then people should go see you.
I'll be introing Marco Benevento, a keyboard freakerino and a great band.
Well, go see Patrick. If you keep the dial tune right where it is,
see you, kids.
We'll keep you company all morning here at WDSC. Have a meaningful and a new year that's filled with joy.
Oh, yeah.